The last one we're going to talk about a little bit more in depth, and that's natural monopoly. We have actually already talked a little bit about natural monopoly. We can also call that a club good when we talked about excludability and rivalry. So here we have a good that is fairly non-rival. The cost of one individual's consumption is very low, and it's excludable. We can charge for it. And we've got some examples: utilities, theme parks, media, railroads. What you'll notice is that these are all industries that have a high fixed cost and a low marginal cost. So this is defined by high fixed cost, low marginal cost industry. So the cost of producing this product is such that we have this one big investment at the beginning, and then it doesn't really cost very much to produce one more unit of the product. Like when I think about electricity provision or like water provision, having the infrastructure of water treatment plants and pipes running to everyone's houses, the cost of that is really high. The cost of me getting one more glass of water out of the tap is really low. It costs a lot of money to build Disneyland, right? Cost of letting one more person come in is really low. So we have this high fixed cost, high upfront investment, low marginal cost type of industry. And this relates back to this category here where we have patent and copyright protections, because basically in these high fixed cost, low marginal cost industries, competition can't really exist. The good cannot be provided by a competitive market. Why is that? Well, let's look at our graph here. So you'll notice that I've got a cost curve graph here, like the ones we were looking at, but it doesn't look the way that we were drawing them. It looks weird. We've got here a low, kind of maybe barely increasing marginal cost. And then we've got this average total cost that starts out really high and then just decreases. Why is that? Because average total cost is the cost per unit. So imagine you build Disneyland and only one person comes in. The cost per person is going to be really, really high. Because the cost of each additional person is really low, as more and more people come in, that average total cost is just decreasing like this. We're dividing the fixed cost across all of the customers. So as we have more and more customers, that average total cost is decreasing. And these two lines actually don't cross here. So this is a much different graph than we've seen before, but this represents this high fixed cost, low marginal cost structure. And then the other two lines that we have on the graph here are a demand curve and a marginal revenue curve. So you haven't seen the demand curve and the marginal revenue curve on these cost curve graphs before, but we have them here, and there's really nothing new going on other than the fact that we've got everything on the same graph. So what would the competitive market equilibrium be? Well, the competitive market equilibrium would be where supply equals demand or price equals marginal cost. What is the problem with this point? Well, now that I have my average total cost curve on this graph, I can easily see that at this point, at this price here, profits are going to be negative. Why? Because my price is below my average total cost curve. So the problem is that the competitive market equilibrium, which occurs where price is equal to marginal cost, cannot occur because at that point, price is less than average total cost. In other words, profits are negative. Say we've spent all this money to produce this movie, and then anyone could just go and share or sell that movie. We'd get a competitive market in distribution, which happens in other countries where piracy is really common. Then you've got basically, right, no incentive for the firm to develop the movie. The firm is not going to spend all this money to produce a movie and then make no money selling it. So that's why we have patent copyright protections, because we want these industries to exist. We want to develop new pharmaceutical products. And so we need to allow the firms to charge a price higher than marginal cost to recoup their upfront investment, their fixed cost, so that they will develop and provide these products. One solution to allow monopolies to exist, but regulate them. Why do we need to regulate them? Well, if we just allow a monopoly to exist in this market, where will we end up? Marginal revenue equals marginal cost. Increase the price. And this is our monopoly point here. Profits are positive. See, our price is higher than our average total cost curve. That's good. We got positive profits so the industry can exist. But it's not good, right? Because the firm has restricted the quantity they sell in order to increase their price. They're taking all of the surplus from consumers, and we get a bunch of deadweight loss. So this is actually not a good outcome either. What is the best outcome in this situation? Well, if we want to allow monopolies to exist, we should regulate them so that we get to this point, which is a second best, because this is the lowest price at which profits are not negative. So we could try to regulate, allow monopolies to exist, or allow firms to have market power and regulate them. That's what we're attempting to do with our patent and copyright laws. Or if we really want to try to get to this socially optimal point here, we can do that, just not through a private market. The government can provide this product. And that's the way it works with utilities. The electric company is many times owned by the state, or at least managed by the state. Water is provided by the state usually, or the city, the local municipality. Trash collection, all these kind of utility goods are usually provided by the government.